there is a window, we're in it.
A one-hit shutout for Jacob deGrom.
Everybody talks about what this rotation can be.
Curtis hits the walk-off home run of the 12th.
We know that if we stay healthy, we have a very good chance of being where we want to be.
Cespedes Winston with a home run.
When you have the kind of talent that we have right now, you have to take advantage of that.
And Reyes cracks it. It's out of here!
We see the potential there in each one of ourselves.
They better walk around with their heads up. They better have a little swagger. They better talk winning. They better play like they're going to win. They better act like they're going to win. I'm confident we're going to play in October.
The preparations are over for a team that hopes to make it to the top of the mountain. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Atlanta Braves. Welcome to opening day, presented by Habitat for Humanity. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you as the Mets open the 2017 season against the Atlanta Braves, hoping this year to accomplish something no Met team ever has, and that's make it to the postseason for a third straight season. Last year, the Mets were second in the National League in home runs. We know they can hit home runs, but they had trouble scoring runs at times last year. So how is the Mets offense in 2017 going to be different?
I think it's going to be entirely different. You're going to have a lot of players on this lineup with our veterans sprinkled in with young players. They're here now. They're more comfortable. Jay Bruce last year came up very late. This will be the second season for Neil Walker. Jose Reyes now is coming back for a first full season as a Met. They're all comfortable in their skin here, and I just look at last year. That is over and done with. I think they're going to hit much better in the clutch this year, and they're going to hit with the same kind of power.
It's substantially the same team as it was last year. So what is the storyline that you'll be interested to follow as the season goes along that will indicate to you how this team is going?
Well, I tell you what, Terry's got his best bench he's ever had. And you look at Wilmer Flores and Michael Conforto. It's going to be incumbent upon Terry to get those guys into the games and make them feel a part of this ball club.
As far as the Mets on the mound, they've got a starting staff that, in terms of velocity and potential, could rival any that's ever taken the mound. What do you expect to see from them this season?
Well, you know, we've heard so much about this starting staff. I was trying to find something to talk about that was a little different. And I think there's such a transitional pitching staff. Every team in baseball wants to have a staff that is good through 162 games. But if they're lucky enough to make the postseason, they also have that star power that you can use in the postseason. They have great abilities, and they can almost will this so. We're going to be interested to see if we get the answer to that question. Problem is, it comes in 6 months.
So I'll ask you what I asked Keith. As this season begins to progress, what's the storyline that you'll be interested in watching?
Well, I think the storyline, especially tonight, but I think it'll be pervasive all year long, is how they control the running game. I think teams know they're not going to be able to bunch 3 and 4 hits together. How do you counter that? You send people, you hit and run, and you steal bases. Syndergaard's got to get better at that this year.
And of course, it all starts today with Noah Syndergaard on the mound on opening day. It was Syndergaard who made the start in the last game the Mets played here at Citi Field. He matched Madison Bumgarner pitch for pitch in the wild card game, made it through 7 scoreless innings, and he gets the honor of taking the mound today for his first opening day start. "24 years old, only 2 Met pitchers have taken the mound on opening day as a starter. Younger than that, their names, Tom Seaver and Dwight Gooden."
The thing about Syndergaard from last season, 2.60 ERA, 14 wins, and Gary, you mentioned that great job he did in the play-in wild card game, matching zeros for 7 innings with Madison Bumgarner. He is at the perfect place right now on this opening day to have a monster year. He started it with the 14 wins last year. I'd expect more for him this year. There's your Land Rover numbers. 218 punch-outs with a 2.60 ERA.
There's a starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves. They lost 93 games last year, but were a lot better the last 2/3 of the season. They've got a Rookie of the Year candidate in Dansby Swanson, who made his debut last year. Freddie Freeman, who had a tremendous second half. Brandon Phillips has come over from the Reds. This is a team that's going to get a lot better over the next few years. They have a new ballpark this season, and they've brought in some veterans to try and fill some holes while their young people get ready. Beautiful day at Citi Field. Came up partly cloudy, temperature in the 50s. All you could ask for in the first week in April.
And the defense for your New York Metropolitans. That's a pretty doggone good outfield. The big question mark is Curtis Granderson in center field. He played very well at center field last year, but he's a year older. He'll need to get some spell time. On the infield, Duda's back. Let's see how he stays healthy. Remember, he'll platoon with Flores. Reyes at third base. I almost said shortstop. I'm so used to him being at shortstop. And Rene Rivera, I think, primarily for what Ronnie said in the open, to control the running game, is behind the plate.
Well, the sky is the limit for Noah Syndergaard, the hardest throwing starting pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Every pitch he throws harder than anyone in baseball, including his slider and his changeup.
He's a power pitcher, no question about it.
And after tying the hair back for a couple of starts in spring training, he's in full flow this afternoon as he gets set to face Ender Inciarte.
I didn't like the bun.
And I'm sure he knew that, Keith.
That's why he changed.
Inciarte will lead off. He ended the last game that the Mets and Braves played here last year with a game-saving catch. And Syndergaard's first pitch of the season is fouled back, and we're underway at Citi Field. 99 miles an hour to open the season. Syndergaard averaged 98 with his fastball last year, just under 91 with his slider. And he's quickly ahead on Inciarte, 0-2.
Well, what we've noticed from Noah Syndergaard in his young career, with all the postseason experience he's had, has been able to channel all of that adrenaline and speed in the early innings.
And he gets Inciarte with a nasty slider. 3 pitches, and Inciarte is fanned for the first out of the season.
And Ronnie, I just think right here, this pitch, he does not, when he gets ahead of hitters, I think he's just beginning to learn that he does not have to throw a strike. A pitch like that is tough to lay off for a hitter.
So 1 out and nobody on. And now the rookie shortstop, Dansby Swanson. And he takes a fastball low at 100 miles an hour. Swanson had 129 at bats last year, which kept intact his rookie status for this year. If you have more than 130 at bats, you're not eligible the following year.
I wonder if that was done on purpose, Gary.
You know, I was looking at his day-by-day last year, and it didn't look like they sat him out. That's right back to Noah, and he makes the easy play for the second out. So far, dominant. 2 out and nobody on.
You know, Keith, you mentioned the slider to the Inciarte as Freddie Freeman comes up, the hot Freddie Freeman. You're right, he doesn't have to waste the pitch. And in today's, where pitch counts are so important, it was nice to see Inciarte go down on 3 pitches.
I always say, when you're ahead 0-2 and you got dynamic stuff like Syndergaard, hitters at a serious disadvantage.
And now Freeman takes a first pitch changeup. Freddie Freeman got off to a dreadful start last year, but boy, did he make up for it the last 2/3 of the year. And he flies one out to left, and Cespedes is right there waiting for it. The easiest of first innings for Noah Syndergaard. He sets the Braves down on 7 pitches. And the Mets are going to work against Julio Teheran in the bottom of the first when we come back. For the Mets in the bottom of the first. And here is the Mets batting order. Curtis Granderson, who manned that cleanup spot down the stretch for the Mets last year quite successfully, back in the cleanup spot on opening day. Rene Rivera gets the start with Syndergaard on the mound, and those left-hand power hitters bunched in those 6 and 7 spots with Bruce and Duda.
Well, forget about the one-loss record for Julio Teheran last year at 3.21 ERA, 11th best in the National League.
Ronnie, he had a run support last year of 2.3 per game. That's not going to get you a lot of wins.
He had 70 runs in support of his pitching last year. Rick Porcello, the Cy Young Award winner in the American League, over 200.
Well, he is the acknowledged ace of the Braves staff as Reyes fouls it off. 4th straight opening day start for Teheran. They've brought in Bartolo Colon and R.A. Dickey and Jaime Garcia to shore up the rotation until all the young pitchers that the Braves have are ready to start claiming spots. There's R.A. who will not pitch in this series. Colon will go on Wednesday night in game 2. And the breaking ball misses inside, 1-2.
Last Brave to make 4 straight, at least 4 straight, Greg Maddux.
And the last with more than 4 in a row, Warren Spahn, back in the Milwaukee Braves days in the 50s and 60s.
The greatest left-hander of all time.
1-2 coming. Reyes fouls off the fastball. That's about where Teheran's going to top out, 92. He's not a overpowering pitcher, but he has got that ability to spot every pitch in every count.
Can throw any pitch on any count. Last year in June, the middle of June, he faced 28 Mets and had a 1-hitter. 1-hit shutout.
He's got a 2.36 lifetime ERA against the Mets across 14 starts. And Reyes chases the high one.
He's throwing 92 miles an hour, but you can tell that his fastball's got life.
Yeah.
It's got it's electric. It's too much emphasis on the gun and miles per hour. Let me tell you, 92, 93 can be very effective.
Teheran, just 26 years old, played for Colombia in the World Baseball Classic. Ahead 1-2 on Reyes. And Jose takes the fastball for strike 3 called. Jeff Kellogg calling the high strike, and that's the first out.
Well, he was up the ladder there, and Jose was chasing, and he came down to the letters here for the strike. And that's got the corner. Too close to take.
So 1 out and nobody on now as Drupal Cabrera. I think it is underrated how good a year Cabrera had for the Mets last year, particularly in light of the knee issue that he dealt with for large chunks of the season. He hit 280. He hit 23 home runs. He played a very good shortstop. And he lines the first pitch he sees in 2017 for a base hit.
Well, Cabrera, who only had 38 walks last season, is a guy that likes to swing the bat. Good situational hitter from both sides of the plate. I like him in the number 2 hole in the lineup, Gary. I really like what they did in spring, moving Granderson to the cleanup and Cabrera up to number 2.
And now it's Cespedes. His second opening day as a Met, and now locked in for the next 4 years. And we talked about it a lot during the spring, how both stronger and faster he looks than he has in the past. To go with all of that power.
Got to be careful at first base. If you're Cabrera, he does not run. But Teheran has one of the best, probably the best move in all of baseball from the right side. He's got what I would call a balk move. The only reason I say that is I had one myself. I know exactly how to do it.
I was going to say he has the Ron Darling move. And he comes inside on Cespedes. 0-2.
Oh, starts him out with a fastball knee high outside corner. Look at this thing run inside there. Good pitch. Big powerful swing. A man that does not get cheated.
The 0-2 to Cespedes. It's just off the corner.
It's interesting. Tehran dealing with the nerves we were talking about before in an opening day start. A guy that uses all of his pitches, almost all fastballs here in this first inning. He likes his fastball.
He looks very composed to me. He's locating nicely in this first inning.
Braves tilting that infield to the left, but not over shifting against Cespedes. Cabrera at first and 1 out.
There's that move, Ronnie.
Not meant to be on a hop. But I don't think you can overshift too often against Cespedes, particularly with 2 strikes.
No, he has the ability to go the other way. I mean, this is a case right here where you get a base hit to the opposite field. Look at that gap between first base and second base. The defenders. That's first and third. Sets up a big inning.
One-two coming. And he fouls it away.
Guys, on the pickoff play to first, just concentrate on his front knee. Watch how it breaks or buckles before he throws over. See that? That's a balk move. You're not supposed to be able to buckle that before you throw to first. His is so quick and subtle that he gets away with it.
By the way, he's good. He has 23 pickoffs in his career. You had 43.
That means a lot of guys on first base, Gary. Oh, it's Keith's taking responsibility for it.
He was Javi Baez before there was Javi Baez, the king of the tags. Here's the 1-2, and it's up and in. All fastballs again, 2-2.
To me, that's the most interesting pitch. Will these pitchers who have to face Cespedes, Granderson's on deck, will they, with 2 strikes, have the guts and the courage to pitch him in?
Well, we've seen from Tehran, he is a master at using both sides of the plate. He's got Tyler Flowers catching him. Braves are carrying 3 catchers. Flowers expected to be the guy who gets the bulk of the work. Last year split time with A.J. Przinsky. They have Kurt Suzuki as their backup, and the former Met Anthony Recker was added as a 3rd catcher. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming to Cespedes. And up and in for the count.
Well, this is what a hitter like Cespedes does to a pitcher. You realize that you really have to be precise with your pitches. You can't make a mistake over the middle. He'll put a hurt on you. He might be reluctant to throw the breaking ball, Ronnie, because he hasn't but thrown 1 so far this game.
But I think this might be the first one.
See if Cabrera runs here. 3-2 and 1 out. Granderson on deck. Not going. And Cespedes goes down on the breaking ball. So he did throw him a 3-2 breaking ball, and that's the 2nd strikeout for Tehran.
We'll take a quick look at your Brave defense. And that's Gold Gloves out there in all 3 positions. 5 to be exact. And a big Gold Glover, 4-time Gold Glover in Brandon Phillips, who's just come over from the Reds this year, first year as a Brave. And Tyler Flowers behind the plate.
You going light beer on your defense this year, huh?
Yes.
It's Granderson. Curtis turned 36 years old last month. Oldest starting center fielder in the game. There goes Cabrera. First pitch, and the curveball is low, and Cabrera surprises everybody by stealing a base, and he picked the right pitch to run on. The first slow curve that Tehran has thrown. Is it a chance that Asdrubal got the sign?
He might have. You know, he gets that lead and looks in, but
Smart steal right there. Very smart. Get in scoring position. Get a 2-out RBI single right here.
So after Tehran threw the slider to strike out Cespedes, he comes back with a first pitch curveball to Granderson, and Cabrera's in scoring position with 2 out. Curtis spent a good portion of last year hitting leadoff. Had 30 home runs, but only 59 runs batted in. A team-wide issue, driving in runs when they did not hit home runs, and that's why the Mets finished 2nd in the league in homers and 11th in the league in runs scored.
Well, they certainly, with everybody back and healthy thus far, that's a big question mark with this ball club. They've got a potential to hit more home runs than they did last year.
They're on ahead 0-2 on Granderson. Curtis takes high. Last year the Mets hit .225 as a team with runners in scoring position, which was the lowest in the majors. And only a late season burst got them that high.
History doesn't serve teams very well when you hit that low with runners in scoring position. To make the post, which the Mets did.
1-2 coming. And Granderson tries to lay off the slider, stopped it in time. Then Fagan with the call down at third, and it's 2-2.
Well, you can see the difference in the breaking balls with Syndergaard and Tehran. Similar breaking balls with downward tilt, but Syndergaard's with much more velocity.
81 versus 93 on the sliders so far. Cabrera at second and 2 down. 2-2. And Granderson trying to hold. This time he went around, strike 3. So Tehran fans 3 in the inning, gets Granderson on the high fastball and gets through the bottom of the first after the Cabrera hit and steal. After 1 on opening day, Mets and Braves, no score. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Habitat for Humanity. Habitat builds strength, stability, and self-reliance through shelter. By Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. By Toyota, visit your local Toyota dealer or buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. And by Spectrum. Hey, Mets fans, join America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider. Get the Spectrum Triple Play today. Second inning, no score. Matt Kemp leads off against Noah Syndergaard, who retired the side on 7 pitches in the first inning, and he starts with a sinker low and in.
Trimmed down version of Matt Kemp.
Yes.
He got pretty big at the end of last year. He looks great.
I mean, to the point where even though he was hitting, his general manager called him out on his lack of conditioning.
It's a very talented player.
Kemp played 56 games for the Braves and really perked up their offense. Those are his career numbers.
Finished second in 2011 in the MVP balloting.
They should give it to him in retrospect.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Considering the guy who won it was found to have cheated.
Well, don't think that Freeman getting hot at the end of the year didn't coincide with the acquisition of Kemp.
Well, really the entire team. I
Yeah.
mean, the Braves got off to a horrific start last year. as Kemp takes inside. At one point they were 18 and 46, and then they went 50 and 47 the rest of the way, and Kemp and the improvement of the Braves offense had everything to do with that.
Well, I think he had a lot to do. You know, Freddie Freeman had the great, finally got someone behind him to protect him.
Tap past the mound, but Walker's right there to play it, and he throws out Kemp one away.
Well, a lot of times in first games, there's a little bit of nerves, and hitters can get a little excited. But what I've seen so far, and this is very early, both pitchers are making quality pitches.
Here's Nick Markakis in his third year with the Braves. First year he was coming off neck surgery, and all his power had been sapped. And a little better power year last year, 13 homers, 89 driven in.
Yeah, the 89 runs is all I care about. I don't care how you drive him in. That's productive. He's a good player, good defender. Obviously, he's won 2 Gold Gloves when he was in his Baltimore Orioles days. He comes to the ballpark, he plays hard. He's a nice player.
Markakis now 33 years old. Has roots in both towns. He was born on Long Island and grew up in the Atlanta area. And Markakis has done well against Syndergaard, 3 hits and 6 at bats. This is a team that Noah has not done well against. 3 career starts. He has a 5.5 ERA against Atlanta. But he exploded on the scene 2 years ago, made tremendous strides last year. And there's an outstanding changeup, 2-2.
2-1 changeup, almost not even fair.
Well,
guy who throws 100.
It's going to be a pitch that's going to be a torment to left-hand hitters. You saw it sinking too, Ron.
It's a pitch he's thrown before, but he feels as though he's refined it this year. I don't know if he's using a different grip, but for whatever reason he's getting better action on it.
He has it a little looser in his hand, Gary, and I think that's why it's become more of that power changeup as opposed to, has a lot of movement as opposed to just a change of speed pitch.
3-2 to Markakis with 1 out. And he fouls that fastball away at 99 miles an hour.
Good up and in fastball. And Markakis manages to fight it off and stay in the at bat.
Brandon Phillips, the former Cincinnati Red.
So up and in fastball, 3-2 change yet.
Struck him out. Went away at 100 miles an hour for his second strikeout. What a two-seamer, Ronnie?
Yeah, it was, and it was running away. The great thing about he gets on top of that baseball. Very unusual grip by Syndergaard, and that ball just running enough away, but also at 100 miles an hour. God.
So 5 up and 5 down for Noah with a couple of strikeouts. And now Phillips, odd to see him in any uniform other than that of the Reds after spending 10 years with Cincinnati.
35 years old.
And he bangs one up the middle for the Braves' first hit. So Phillips wasting no time, a first pitch 2-out single, and he's the first Atlanta base runner.
I think he's someone that you can keep an eye on this season because it's always good. All those years in Cincinnati, and you get to a new organization and you get new life. I look for him to have a big year.
It's also a walk year for him after a 10-year deal that he signed with the Reds finally runs out after this season. And he's another Georgia native, grew up in Stone Mountain. So Phillips, the former Gold Glover, is back home. Adonis Garcia, the batter, and he takes low and away.
Both hits in this game have come on first pitch fastball hitting, which is pretty smart on opening day.
Garcia, 14 home runs last year, including a game winner against the Mets in Atlanta.
Well, here's the test for Syndergaard. They are going to put the pedal to the metal. Try to rattle him.
Phillips had 14 stolen bases last year. And it's grounded down to third. Reyes getting ground, makes the play for the force, and that retires the side. Braves get their first hit, but no score in the middle of the second. Recovered after a disastrous start. Still not the kind of year you want. 93 losses because they ran through a lot of pitchers. So they brought in some veteran pitchers, Dickey, Colon, Garcia, and some other veteran players, Suzuki. Sean Rodriguez was hurt after a car accident, and Brandon Phillips. And they're hoping that many of those veterans can be placeholders till some of their talented prospects are ready.
And also it's their new ballpark they're opening up this season. They don't want to have a 93 loss. There's Bartolo.
Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of Bartolo's major league debut. Day after tomorrow, he makes his return to the Citi Field mound. Neil Walker leading off in the home second, and he takes the breaking ball outside. Well, Neil had his season curtailed last year with a herniated disc in his back. Didn't play the last month of the season and missed the Mets wild card game. He flies one out to center field where Inciarte waits for it. Inciarte loves playing a shallow center field, doesn't he?
He can go get him. He made that great catch here last year at Citi Field in right center field.
Bob Cespedes, a 3-run game-winning home run.
Yes, terrific catch.
It was the last time the Braves played here before today.
Second best catch I've seen in Flushing live.
Endy. Yeah. That was pretty special. It also wasn't a September game with the last place team.
That's right.
Here's Jay Bruce, who's celebrating his 30th birthday on opening day. And Jay, after 2 months in Flushing that were mostly muddled, looking for a fresh start on his 30th birthday. And in 2017. That was a good changeup by Tehran. It's 1-1.
I do have to say I like some of his comments. They're a little snappy at some folks who were saying that he's not a New York City kind of player. But that's what you're going to go through in this town. You got to prove you can play here first before they welcome you.
Well, I think sometimes people put cause before effect. I mean, Jay Bruce has always been a streaky player. And he had a great streak the first half of the year in Cincinnati, an awful streak for 7 weeks as a Met, and then a really good streak the last 8 or 9 days of the season. So is it about the city, or is it just about the fact that he's a streaky guy? 33 home runs, 99 RBIs last year.
Keith, he's choking up with 2 strikes. I don't know if we saw that last year.
Jay, always very fidgety in that box. A lot of movement.
Has 2 career home runs against Tehran. And manages to lay off the slider, 3-2.
The look on Tehran is he was supposed to swing at that 2-2 slider. Now what do I throw?
Yep. 3-2 changeup. Shook him off. Fastball away.
And Bruce hits one into the shift. Brandon Phillips right there to play. 2 out. Here's a look at the Mets opening day record presented by Habitat for Humanity. And when you look at that 35-20 record, which is the best in the majors, consider that they lost their first 8 opening day games. So from 1970 on, the Mets are 35-12 on opening day.
And they're even better at home, right?
Well, I know they lost on opening day last year in Kansas City, but they won our opener.
They did.
That was Syndergaard's game. Here's Lucas Duda, and he takes curveball for a strike.
84. We got killed in Cincinnati opening day, didn't we? Didn't Mike Torres start that?
Yeah, he did. We did get killed.
Get killed.
Mario Soto with
Right.
the changeup.
So you see Duda, they just throw nothing but garbage at him. That's a terrible word, but they just love to. Well, as a hitter, you say garbage because you're fighting this pitcher out there. But Lucas is a fastball hitter, and he gets a lot of secondary pitches.
And there's another one, and it's 2-1.
If you don't say garbage, I won't laugh when a guy gets jammed this year. All right? Is that a deal?
It's one of my favorite things.
Okay.
One of my favorite things when a guy gets jammed and hits about a 10-footer, and Ronnie just starts laughing, guffawing.
Can I say junk?
No, I don't even like junk.
Secondary pitch.
Okay, there you go.
Well, junk baller is an accepted expression in baseball. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Good pitch.
Only seen 4 pitches, not a fastball among them.
That's the first slider he's thrown for a strike down and into the lefty. Both pitchers looking very sharp.
Rene Rivera would be next. 2 out and nobody on. 2-2 to Duda. And Lucas takes a fastball high, 3-2.
A lot of 3-2 counts, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's the one pitch he's not been able to lock in yet, that fastball in. Already with this stuff we're starting.
3-2 coming. And he walked him. So Duda, who's always had a keen eye, gets aboard with a 2-out walk. And the Mets will get the number 8 hitter to the plate. Rene Rivera, who started the wild card game last year because Syndergaard was on the mound, starts opening day this year because Syndergaard is on the mound.
Well, Rivera is one of those hitters that goes the other way, and you've got an outstanding hitting pitcher in the on-deck circle in Syndergaard. So a base hit to right field or a ground ball through that hole sets up a first and third for the Norwegian.
I want to know how you guys parse the idea of Rivera starting opening day when Travis d'Arnaud is so essential to this team's success. Does it provide a challenge to d'Arnaud? Does it keep him out of harm's way today, not catching Syndergaard when a team might be inclined to run?
Yeah, I know where you were going with that when you said it, Gary. That isn't it interesting that the last game the Mets played last year and the first game the Mets play this year started by Rene Rivera. I think personally that it has nothing to do with Travis d'Arnaud. It has everything to do with Noah Syndergaard, and he is comfortable with Rivera behind the plate. So d'Arnaud might have to get used to it.
Down the line, and Markakis watches it sail foul. And I think that has more to do than just the throwing part of the game. I think it's also the nature of Rene Rivera's personality.
Yeah, you know, there's different catchers that you just have are more in unison with. Now, there are some teams now that the catcher is such a big part that you better get on his game plan and forget about having your own catcher. But not the case here with Rivera.
You know, you got to consider too that d'Arnaud has had health issues of being able to stay on the field. So, you know, McCarver caddied for Carlton. Yeah, that's 32 starts. It's 32 days, games that d'Arnaud can rest and stay fit and strong.
1-2 to Rivera. Well, certainly Rivera was an inspired pickup for the Mets last year. They got him early in the season after d'Arnaud went down, and he was able to fill a void and hang around after Travis came back. Gets it in the air to left, and Kemp circling under it. And that retires the side. So it's Aaron works around the 2-out walk. We're on to the third. The Syndergaard jerseys all over the place. No score at Citi Field. Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. What we were talking about, the pairing of Noah Syndergaard and Rene Rivera, and this is Rivera's view, the big blonde beast, as he put it.
Channeling Game of Thrones or something like that.
Like he wants to destroy the batter. And why not when you can throw like this guy can. 24 years old, and the sky is the limit. Tyler Flowers leads off the third inning, and he floats one down the right field line, foul.
Another Georgian. They love to get their,
isn't it?
It is. They love to get their homegrown
and even bring them back, because you know Flowers was with the White Sox all those years. Markakis was an Oriole all those years, and both those guys, and Brandon Phillips, who was a Red all those years, they all come back.
And don't forget, their amateur baseball ranks are as good as any part of the country.
Slide out to center, and Granderson is there with the glasses down. 1 out. What do you think about Granderson in center in terms of how many games he can play without center field being a burden on 36-year-old legs?
Curtis never complains. I bet you can get 130 out of him if he stays healthy.
But you said it in the open. At some point, you got to find some at bats for Conforto.
Yes, and also I tell you what, the one injury that went under the radar screen, I felt, was Lagares. That was a tough injury because Lagares is the guy that's going to go in, obviously, and for defense late, and he's a right-hand hitter.
Well, here's my question: if Lagares was healthy, would Conforto even be here?
No,
he would not.
He'd be in
Vegas. He'd be getting at bats in AAA.
I mean, right now, Michael is the only other conceivable choice to play center field on this team. Cespedes isn't going to play there. Bruce isn't going to play there.
I'm just so happy Michael was announced today before the
eventually. And Tehran waves at the slider. That appeared to be unfair.
Well, it's a pitcher, and actually, Tehran hit 204 last year. That's pretty doggone good. But you know what? This is just
10 hits last season, but not on that pitch.
No, once you get ahead of a pitcher, you know you got to pad your strikeout total, so you go right after him.
So third strikeout for Syndergaard. Now Ender Inciarte, who struck out on 3 pitches to start the festivities today. Well, what a trade the Braves made with the Diamondbacks. They got Inciarte, who's a young star. They got Dansby Swanson, who was a #1 overall draft pick and looks like he's going to be a star. They got Aaron Blair, who did some good work for them last year and might well do more.
They got people fired in Arizona with that trade.
That's another good changeup by Syndergaard, 1-1. Of course, Shelby Miller went the other way, and you know, Miller has every chance to have a big year this year. He was throwing extremely well this spring, but so far it has been a lopsided trade in favor of Atlanta. Inciarte pokes one to short, and Cabrera with a quick toss gets him, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard cruising through the first 3. No score on opening day. Brought to you by Habitat for Humanity. People can get involved by donating at habitat.org, spreading the word using hashtag #HomeIsTheKey, or by purchasing products from participating retail partners. Noah Syndergaard will lead off in the bottom of the 3rd. Madison Bumgarner laid down the gauntlet yesterday.
Oh, did he?
the first pitcher ever to hit 2 home runs on opening day. Okay, Noah, your turn. What a terrible loss for the Giants, by the way, yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, they made such an effort to improve their bullpen. They've got a lead in the 9th, 2 out and nobody on, and Melanson coughed it up.
They led the league last year in blown saves, and they start the season the same way.
I have a hunch that Melanson's not going to blow too many this year.
But it certainly does not put a good feeling in their hearts starting the season that way. Syndergaard, 3 home runs last year, including 2 on one memorable day at Dodger Stadium. Is that fan holding Noah's face in the outfield? Is it hit your own face, Noah?
I guess so. I mean, just think about it. Okay, you got the ticket, you got your hat, Mets jersey. Okay, you have your cooler. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. The Syndergaard head. You got that? Yeah. Okay, we're cool.
1-2 from Tehran, and the fastball got him looking, and that is strikeout number 4 for Julio Tehran. Well, last year, Bumgarner and Syndergaard each hit 3, and Bumgarner's off to a good start getting to that total again.
16 career home runs now for Bumgarner.
Oh, how many RBIs did Wainwright have last year? 18. Crazy. Reyes bluffs the bunt, takes the changeup for a strike.
Boy, I tell you, both pitchers brought their A games so far.
That's what you expect on opening day, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it was interesting. I read that when Masahiro Tanaka went out in the 3rd yesterday, it tied the shortest opening day start ever by a Yankee pitcher.
Tied the shortest ever, and the most runs given up since 1973. Our good friend Mel Stottlemyre.
Corners in against Reyes, who took a call 3rd strike his first time up. Tehran took a bad step there.
I think he was upset with the location of his fastball.
It's again that fastball that he's trying to come in on the lefties is shooting up and away. He's not able to locate it in yet, so he's angry at himself.
That's what I mean, Ronnie, about life on your fastball. It's got some zing and it's got some takeoff and runs away.
Reyes fights that one off. As the Braves tore down their team over the last couple of years, Tehran was one of the guys they decided to hang on to, signed him to a 6-year deal. It carries through 2019. They also tied up Freddie Freeman for the long term.
Those are the 2 that they held on to. I mean, McCann went, Simmons went,
Jason
Hayward, on and on. That's why they were able to rebuild that farm system.
And they've gone from one of the worst farm systems in baseball to one of the best in just 2 years. 2-2 coming, and Reyes gets one in the air to right. And Marquez is drifting under it. 2 out.
There's certain things about this game that never change, and that up and in fastball is still the toughest pitch to hit. You crowd a hitter up and in, most hitters, and there he got up and in on Reyes and jammed him.
Now is Drupal Cabrera, who has the only Met hit, single to right and stole a base in the opening inning. I was surprised, because we were talking about Tehran and his great move, to see that he gave up 17 stolen bases last year. It's more than I would have expected.
Well, it's interesting you asked that. I think one of the reasons he has such a good move is because he's incredibly slow to the plate. So you have to be worried about the move, but if you guess right, it's pretty easy.
So I guess that's the task for Syndergaard, right?
Yes.
To try and develop a little better move, because he's never going to be quick to home plate.
This is something a little bit different, guys. Look at the shift on Cabrera. I don't think we saw that last year, did we?
Yeah, I think occasionally we did, but not every team shifts against him.
So if I'm a hitter, it's got to be, you know, like play him the pull, pitch him in, you know, play him the opposite field, pitch him away.
And Flowers moves in. And it's 2-1.
What I don't understand is Phillips not being in the outfield, because the way Cabrera runs now with a little bit of a gimpy knee, he could play back.
Well, we saw that when Bruce was up last time up. I mean, Bruce, who doesn't run nearly as well as he used to, and Phillips was playing in that same spot. That's golfed into right field. Marquez coming over. He'll have to play it on a hop. And as Dribble Cabrera is 2 for 2.
Well, and he gets the big bomber up with 2 outs. This was a good pitch. Down and in slider. You got to tip your hat here if you're the pitcher, Ron. I'll tell you what, that was a tough pitch. And Cabrera on it.
Well, now Cespedes and Tehran battled him very tough in the first inning. Struck him out on a 3-2 slider.
But he went hard until that slider. Wonder if he changes his MO here in the second at bat.
Cabrera at first and 2 out. No score in the third. And Cespedes pops one foul.
Good cut. Not afraid to throw the fastball.
Ball landed in the front row. Flowers did not initially chase it.
You know, you gotta love Freddie Freeman. First base, sprinted all the way in just in case Flowers never picked it up to try to make a play.
I mean, there aren't too many foul balls caught behind the plate in this ballpark because it's so close from home plate to the backstop. But that one almost stayed in the field of play. Not quite the A move by Tehran, but still had Cabrera scrambling.
One of the things of picking people off base is that you got to give them the B move a couple of times so they think that's the A move.
Ooh, by him up and in.
So Gary, we were talking before about when he goes to the plate. See how slow that is? That's almost like a windup in the stretch for Tehran. That's why he gave up the 17 stolen bases.
He's already struck out 4. He's ahead on Cespedes 0-2. And Cespedes reaches out and flies one to right along the line. Marquez to the sidewall and makes a terrific pick. Reached over that railing and reeled it in. Nicely done by Marquez, the former Gold Glover, as Cespedes is retired to end the inning. Marquez using every inch available and out battling the fan. This April, Habitat for Humanity's Home is the Key month will shine a spotlight on the importance of affordable housing. Taylor Rooks had a chance to sit down with the Habitat International CEO Jonathan Reckford to learn more about the Home is the Key campaign. Well, we just heard a lot about Habitat for Humanity, and Ronnie, I know you've been very much involved with it.
You know, I'm lucky, Gary and Keith, that I'm on the board of Habitat for Humanity. They do so many great things. I've been on many build sites where they, you're on site to paint and do other things, but you're not only doing it as a volunteer, but you're doing it with other families that have a chance to have a home, and you know what a home can mean for any family. So if you want to help on a build site, go to habitat.org. It'll be one of the greatest experiences you'll ever have.
Very philanthropic of you, Ron.
Well, thank you, Keith.
He's a multifaceted individual, you know. Slider goes to the backstop, 2-2 to Swanson, who had a comebacker his first time up. Syndergaard's allowed just one hit through the first 3. On the heels of his brilliant 7 innings in the wild card game. He has established a pretty terrific baseline. Swanson takes one just off the plate. Syndergaard thought he had it. He certainly could have, but Jeff Kellogg said no.
Kellogg has called the up and down. He hasn't always called a little off the corner, and he had that one right.
He's called a solid game back there.
He's a good umpire.
Crew chiefs behind the plate on opening day. And Swanson lays off. That one's on the corner. Got him looking at the slider for Syndergaard's 4th strikeout. So Swanson got the first one, but not the second one. 1 out and nobody on. And let's go downstairs to Steve Gelbs, who's standing by with one of the greatest Mets of all time.
Yeah, that's right, Gary. Hall of Famer now we can officially call him that. Mike Piazza. He got the ring on standby, ready to go. But Mike, for you, first thing you do when you walk into the stadium now, take a look in left field at that number 31.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so emotional for me, and to be up there, obviously, with Tom and Casey and the other numbers is such a thrill. So it's always great to come back, and Mets are like family to me. So it's just what a blast.
Mike, here on opening day, are there any specific memories that stand out to you all of your opening days in the league?
The memories for me are a little bittersweet because I miss it so much, because you miss being around the guys and for me, obviously, but I don't miss the pain. So every time I come here, it's nice not have to ice up for 2 hours after the game, but just to be around the game, be around the fans, and opening day is just the eternal optimistic day. Everyone's in first place. So I love this team. I'm excited for this team, and hopefully they stay healthy and have a great season.
It's interesting you say that it's a little bit bittersweet and you miss it a little bit. It's been a number of years now. Do you still get the urge right around this time to come back?
To come back?
No, not to come back officially.
I was going to say.
Hold on 1 second, Mike.
Freeman hits one off the wall and right. Bruce chases it down. Freddie's going to try for 3. And he'll make it without a throw. Freddie Freeman with a 1-out triple. So one of the few batters Syndergaard has fallen behind all day, and Freeman takes advantage.
Fastball, too much plate and up, and then one of the best hitters in the game. Not close from being a home run. Not played well by Bruce there. He missed the angle off the wall.
Well, Freeman hit almost 500 in spring training after that great second third of the season last year, and different than Mike Piazza, no backspin on that ball, a lot of topspin. That's why it stayed in the park.
The infield comes halfway in with Freeman at third and 1 out. Matt Kemp the batter. Let's go back to Steve.
So, Mike, you were saying just about the urge right around this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just being a grizzled vet now, just adrenaline starts to flow, and it's always fun to be back and see the people. But yeah, it's something for me. It'll always be in your DNA as a ball player. So it's just it's a blessing for me to be here.
You got some time around the team this spring, spent a few days down in Port St. Lucie. Anything stand out to you about that visit?
Yeah, just for me, just to slowly bring them a little bit into my philosophy, and that is to enjoy your career and realize how fast it goes and play as a team. I mean, everyone has their role. I mean, if everyone does their role, everyone does their job, you can pull the rest of the teams with you. And so, that's one thing this team needs to do is stay healthy. And you know, they know how to win. So the biggest thing for them to do is just not panic, stay off that roller coaster of the year, and just play consistent baseball day after day.
Mike, it's a big year for Travis d'Arnaud. So to finish off by asking about him, I know you got a chance to speak with him. What did you want him to take away from that conversation?
Just continue to mature and build on your experience, and realize experience will give you more confidence. He's done it before. He knows the battles. He knows what to do in those situations. So I think for him, like I said, to stay healthy and then to continue to do what he can do. Big strikeout there.
Nice call, Mike.
Yeah, no. So, you know, that's the biggest thing is for him. He's got to keep, just like I said, if you have health, health is wealth, and then to continue to draw from your confidence and allow yourself to mature. And when you get those situations, you know what to expect, and you know how to execute.
Mike Piazza, great to see you.
Pleasure. God bless.
All right, Gary, back to you.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Thanks to Mike. What a pitch by Syndergaard, the changeup to strike out the right-hand batter.
You just don't see that. He has the ability to get that ball to go down and not down and in.
So now 2 out. Freeman still at third. Here's Markakis. Well, you know, in the course of a close, well-pitched game, there are outs and then there are outs. Right. And that strikeout is when you put an exclamation point next to it.
Back-to-back changeups, and notice he's developed a sink on that change. And he's learning not to have to throw a strike.
You know, the changeup grip that he's using now, the ball's a little out on his hand. You see all that air between his palm and the ball. That's why he's getting that nasty movement. That's why it's going 90, 91 miles per hour.
He's behind on Markakis 2-0 with Brandon Phillips on deck.
Gary, you
strike with the off speed.
You made a great point. We talked about in the open having a feel for the game. When you're in a 0-0 game and Tehran's throwing as well as he is throwing, you know you got to get through this inning unscathed. Easier said than done.
There's another changeup, and he's behind on Markakis 3-1.
And remember, he's got an open base here too, with a very, very good left-hand hitter, good line drive hitter. And you've got, even though you got Brandon Phillips, the veteran all-star in the on-deck circle, you know, if you fall behind, hey, there's an open base.
3-1 coming, and there's a fastball for a strike. 3-2.
Good pitch. He hadn't thrown that one to Markakis yet. That two-seamer that came back over the plate.
Syndergaard has struck out 5. And Markakis fouls away the 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that was a little upstairs gas attack right there.
Third full count of the afternoon for Syndergaard. Second one against Markakis, who struck out his first time up. The slider. I think it was last year in Syndergaard's first start in Kansas City that we realized that a pitcher could actually throw a 94 or 95 mile an hour slider.
That's right. George Brett, who was in attendance, had some comments about that pitch.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Markakis. Struck him out. Came right back with the slider. 6 strikeouts for Syndergaard as he works around the triple by Freeman to keep the Braves off the board. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Back strikeouts to pin Freeman at third to end that top of the fourth. Now Curtis Granderson leads off the bottom of the fourth against Julio Teheran. And the first pitch curveball a little bit high. Let's take you to our Jeep pitch cast.
Well, just 94 miles an hour. He just rear back and threw that slider as hard as he could because it was down middle. A pitch maybe to hit, but not at 94.
That is a very nice new feature that we have here, and I like that. Right down the middle. You see where the location of the pitch is. It was down over the middle, the miles per hour. It's genius.
And you're not easy to impress. Granderson struck out his first time up. Walker and Bruce to follow against Teheran. Teheran has thrown a few more pitches than he would have liked. And that's been the only dark side of his performance so far. He's given up just 2 hits and a walk over the first 3 innings. Up to 60 pitches now with nobody out in the fourth. And off-speed pitch is fouled off. Still 2-2.
Got away with one there, up and over the middle, and he knows it. You saw his reaction after that foul ball.
A little Western Union on that for Teheran. Really sped up his body, which I think gave it away to Granderson.
Curtis slaps one toward the middle, and it goes underneath Garcia, and Granderson is safe. You know, a lot of teams, when they play that shift, will leave the shortstop, who's the more athletic player, on the left side. But the Braves elected to keep Garcia there, and he couldn't handle this ground ball.
And Garcia is not noted for a good glove. He is their one weak link defensively on that infield. They've tried him in left field, and that didn't work out. So
they're going to give Curtis credit for a base hit. Generous.
Oh my goodness.
And that's Howie Carpenter. He's a tough grader.
Howie, I want to get Red Foley on you.
Here's Neil Walker, who flied out his first time up. But maybe you could explain that. In the modern era of shifting, we've seen teams handle that differently. And in the Braves case, they've got Swanson, who's a gifted fielder. Yeah. And rather than put him in the lone part of the shift, they put him in the bulk part of the shift and leave Garcia by himself.
I think that it's something they started in spring training, and watching it live in a major league game, I'd be very surprised if they don't switch that within the next couple of days.
The other side of the coin, Ronnie and Gary, is if you are going to play the shift, you think the great percentage, obviously, is he's going to pull. So you put your best defenders over on the pull side.
You know, some teams will take their third baseman and play him over in shallow right in the middle of the shift. There are lots of different ways of doing it. But it seems to me that you want your best defender in a spot where there's more ground to cover.
I want my best defender in the position that he plays. I want a guy that's challenged defensively like Garcia, put him on the big part of the field where he has some help.
Walker flied to center his first time up. And he breaks his bat and bloops one to Swanson, who could have let it drop, chose not to, and picks it off for the first out as Granderson gets back. Get to Citi Field Saturday night when the Mets play the Marlins at 7:10. It's the first fireworks night of 2017. After the game, fans can enjoy a fireworks show that will light up the Citi Field sky. For tickets, visit Mets.com/fireworks. So as Swanson on that last play, what's your read in terms of catching it versus letting it drop when you're right near the bag like that?
Too much air underneath it. He couldn't take a chance on letting it drop.
And Walker was running first.
There you go.
I mean, do you want Walker on, drop it on purpose so you get Granderson off the base?
So if you peek and see the hitter lollygagging, and the ball gets away from Flowers, and down to second base goes Granderson. So the wild pitch moves Granderson into scoring position.
Slider in the dirt. No. With a changeup.
That
Like he
just hung on to it too long.
choked it.
So now a chance for Bruce with a runner in scoring position. Mets are 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position thus far. Full shift on against Jay. Good curveball by Tehran, 1-1.
Boy, Tehran is impressive today.
Have we ever seen him not impressive?
Not too many times. What'd you say? In 14 starts, 15 games, 2.36 ERA for his career.
7-3 record against the Metsies.
Granderson at second and 1 out. And the fastball away to Bruce, 2-1.
Another big shift on Bruce, of course. Pull hitter. Garcia on the left side. Really, he cannot get out there in that shortstop position because Granderson could walk, literally walk to third base.
Lucas Duda waiting on deck. And that's up and in, 3-1.
That's that pitch they don't call anymore. That up and in fastball. Ball upstairs. That could have gone either way, Ronnie.
You know, we've talked a lot about Bruce and Duda hitting back-to-back down in the order. I wonder if that makes a difference in terms of what Tehran throws here with first base open and Duda on deck. That's too high, ball 4, and Duda will get a chance with 2 men on. Second walk by Tehran. You know what I mean, Ron?
No, absolutely. I think that when you look at Jay Bruce, Tehran's faced him many times, right? When you look at him, you know what he's done in his career. Lucas Duda now can certainly hurt you, but there are more places to go to get an out against Lucas than there is maybe against Jay Bruce, especially if Bruce is hot and streaky like Keith was saying.
Lucas has good numbers against
Yes,
Tehran.
he does. 304 and 23 at bats with 2 home runs.
Duda walked his first time up, batting here with 2 men aboard, and takes a fastball for a strike. The rally parakeet has made his way back to Citi Field.
That's going to live forever.
Quadruple helmet.
Looks like
nesting dolls.
Looks like a
unnested.
Looks like an ice cream sundae.
As long as you're not the guy sitting behind him.
That's right.
Ball and a strike to Duda.
Well, this is a lineup that it can wear a pitcher down. There's no room for error, no margin for error.
It's like you can't pitch around everyone.
Well, it's certainly building up Tehran's pitch count, even though he's not giving up a run. Here is 1 out in the 4th, already at 71 pitches, and on opening day, you're not likely to push your starter much past 100.
In today's game.
Yes, this was the game I was talking about.
Not some game of 1974. Let me rephrase that. In this era of baseball.
He was talking about this era too.
1-2 to Duda with Rene Rivera on deck. And Lucas goes down swinging on the fastball for the second out.
That was a beautiful sequence of pitches, and I know Ronnie right over here is probably got all excited on that one.
Well, remember the last time he faced Duda, he walked him and he went after him, Keith, with all slow pitches, secondary pitches.
Look at this, tied him up and in. That is still the best pitch in baseball. When you're swinging up like that, I'm sorry, you cannot catch up to it. You're going to swing right through it.
Now Rene Rivera, who flied out his first time up. 5 strikeouts now for Tehran. And Rivera goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1.
You know, Rivera's short time here, I think his strength is when he's hitting the ball up the middle or to right field. I know he's pulled some balls for home runs, but he likes to shoot that ball to right.
6 home runs last year, 26 driven in, and just 185 at bats.
Shallow outfield.
Oh, but they play shallow against everybody. Granderson at second, Bruce at first with 2 down. And he lays off that slider, 1-1 to Rivera.
Granderson has good speed at second base with 2 outs, but it's not a given on a base hit. All good arms in the outfield, and especially Inciarte and Markakis in center and right. Charge and get rid of the ball quickly.
Rivera tops one toward third, right at the bag, and Garcia gets the force play to end the inning. So the Mets threaten but do not score in the bottom of the 4th. Still no score on opening day. Spring sales drive event is on. For big savings, go to buyford.com. Get a recap of today's Mets Braves opener with play-by-play breakdowns and all the post-game reactions on Mets blog presented by Citi, featured on SNY.TV.
They're breaking down your play-by-play. Is that what they're doing?
Is that what it said?
It said play-by-play breakdown. So they're going to break down your play-by-play.
That's a scary thought. We're going to parse the grammar.
Is your voice going to hold up this year? There's a lot of copy you got to read.
Keith, I have to read the copy so that you can get paid. It's all the synergy, you know.
That's right.
Such a giving man.
Brandon Phillips leads off in the 5th inning of a scoreless game. Noah Syndergaard, 6 strikeouts through the first 4. Phillips has one of the 2 Atlanta hits, a single to center in the 2nd. And first pitch swinging again, flies this one out to right center. Granderson looking for it through the sunglasses, and that's the first out. Sunglasses paying dividends on this day. This was supposed to be a cloudy day, but it's been anything but. It's been a beautiful afternoon. Well, Curtis Granderson took over in center field last year, but he hadn't played there a lot since his early days in the major leagues with the Tigers. It's interesting talking to Curtis about playing center field this spring. How when he first went back to the position, first game at Wrigley Field, remember this last year?
Yeah.
They had him playing deep, and the very first ball landed in front of him. And he got all mad at himself because he had always been a guy who liked to play shallow. And he decided at that point, I'm going to play shallow. If the ball goes over my head, so be it, but I'm not going to let anything drop in front of me.
He goes, I know they got their charts, but I know my talent.
You know, if you can go back on a ball, tell me if I'm wrong about this, pitchers appreciate a center fielder who can play shallow.
Yes, there's two schools of thought though, because these Mets pitchers, it's hard to bunch hits against, that you play deep and they'll get themselves out of a jam if a couple of broken bat hits fall in, or do you play shallow because they're not going to make a lot of great contact against these pitchers. It's an interesting way to think about it.
Tyler Flowers, the on-deck batter. Field shifted a bit to the left against Garcia. And he reaches for that slider and makes bare contact. Syndergaard makes the play for the second out.
This is shaping up to be one of those games that one mistake may cost you.
Ronnie, last night we watched one of the young dominant pitchers in baseball in Carlos Martinez had this kind of a game.
It was interesting, Gary, because he really was handed the gauntlet from Adam Wainwright, who's been the #1 starter with the Cardinals for so long, but signed to a long-term deal. Martinez was just so outstanding. His breaking ball, which has always been his third pitch, was spot on to go with that almost unhittable changeup. Sorry, Keith, and that 99-mile-an-hour gas.
And I'm thinking, you look at Martinez and Syndergaard, and it really it's the next wave of the great pitchers in the game.
Agreed.
I mean, top shelf guys.
I mean, Carlos Martinez, and I hate to say this because you don't want to put it on anyone, he has the chance to be Pedro Martinez light. 3 outstanding pitches.
Flowers flied out his first time. You know, I'm thinking down the road this year, next year, whenever, Syndergaard versus Martinez would be like, you know, those Seaver Gibson matchups used to be, or the Koufax Marichal matchups. Pedro against Randy Johnson in the 90s.
Oh man, it was my time, but I used to always enjoy because Dave Stewart would get up for it. The Dave Stewart Roger Clemens matchups, those were always great.
Two to Flowers. And that just missed. The entire Met team was running off the field. But Syndergaard did not get the call.
Good call. It was low. I don't know how Flowers took it.
Yeah, 2-2 changeup. That's why he took it. Got to challenge this hitter here on 3-2.
And it's hit hard through the hole, a base hit. So he came after him with a fastball on 3-2, and Flowers has the Braves' third hit, a 2-out single.
Big. Flips the lineup up, gets the pitcher up, top of the order the next inning. Fastball. Ooh, that was not in enough. Or well, I thought it was in.
I think it was just up, and it's a 3-2 count, and he's starting to bat early and all those things. But you still had to challenge him to try to retire him and lead off the pitcher the next inning.
The hitters are getting paid too, you know.
They're trying also.
There's Tehran, who struck out his first time up. Terry Collins is in his 7th season as Mets manager. He's had 7 different opening day starting pitchers. It's pretty amazing.
Wow. I wonder if any manager has ever done that before. When you think about it, I mean.
For the hole, Cabrera on the backhand. He goes the short way and gets the force play on Flowers to end the inning. Know your base runners. Got the catcher Flowers running. Cabrera knew he'd have time, and he gets Syndergaard through the top of the 5th. Nothing to it for Cabrera. Halfway through on opening day, no score.
Time for your 4th, 5th inning recap. No runs to tell you about, so we'll tell you about the pitchers who have been awfully good. Noah Syndergaard and Julio Teheran combining for 11 strikeouts through the first half of the game. Right now, let's check in with Steve Gelbs. His report today is brought to you by True Green. Steve?
Well, Gary, how come when most lawns around the tri-state right now have dead brown grass, Citi Field is able to have green grass, lush grass? Well, here it has something to do with an underground heating system that was built when Citi Field was built. Around mid to late January, the grounds crew turns on that system. It heats the entire field to about 35 to 40 degrees. But the fertilizer, in order for it to work, it needs the soil to be between 50 and 60 degrees. So in about mid-February, the grounds crew then puts this essentially clear tarp over the entire field, which allows sunlight in but doesn't allow the heat out. That adds the extra 15 degrees, so then you get between 50 and 60, and the grass starts to grow.
Now, what did they do when they had all that snow last month?
Man, that was the fascinating part of this whole thing, because they had to take the tarp off. It can ruin the tarp. So what the grounds crew ended up doing is taking this dirt from the infield, dyeing it black, and then spreading out that black infield dirt all across the field, because black absorbs the heat the most. They were then able to melt 6 inches of snow in 6 hours.
Wow.
They dyed it black?
That's interesting.
That's fascinating.
And Syndergaard pulls one into right field for a base hit.
Ball almost got by Markakis. And Syndergaard is aboard with the 4th man hit of the afternoon, a leadoff single.
Well, he can swing the bat. 2-0 count. Got the fastball right on it.
It's pretty swing, Keith.
Yep, but this ball, this is a tough hop there for Markakis. Outside corner. Hey, tip your hat.
11 hits last year for Syndergaard, his first of this season. Jose Reyes the batter. Garcia comes well in on the grass at third. Freeman in front of the runner at first. Reyes not squaring, and he takes the strike. Well, Teheran's pitch count continues to rise up to 80 pitches with nobody out in the 5th. It's getting the leadoff man on for the 2nd straight inning. Reyes is 0 for 2. And fouls off the fastball, 0-2. Teheran has walked 2. He struck out 5. Allowed 4 hits. Syndergaard's allowed 3 hits. A pitcher's duel on opening day. Now the question is, who will blink and who will hit their pitch count? Reyes pops one behind the plate. Flowers back. And that's in the stands. You know, I say that, you know, in recognition of the fact that, you know, we were talking about Carlos Martinez and how dominant he was last night, but he left with a 3-0 lead in the 8th. He didn't get a win.
That's right.
Hey, it's today's game, Gary.
Got to go 9.
Actually, it was yesterday's.
that was last night, yes. And Al Freeman was there for every pitch up.
There we go.
That's why he's not here today. Playing hooky. And that's on the corner, and Reyes is punched out for the 2nd time today.
That is the same fastball, same location that Reyes was called out his first at bat without swinging. Up and away fastball. Identical pitch.
I would say that's a pitch that you usually don't get. But Kellogg's been calling it that way since Reyes' first at bat.
It's a good framing by Flowers.
So 1 out and 1 on. And now as Drupal Cabrera, who has half the Met hits today, twice a single to right. And he flies this one out to left, easy for Kemp. And quickly there are 2 out. So after the Syndergaard leadoff single, Teheran stiffening again. And it's left to Cespedes with 2 out and a runner on.
He's holding up.
Oh.
Cespedes has struck out and hit a foul fly that Markakis made a nice play on. 0 for 2 today. First pitch, fly ball, left center field. Inciarte back to the edge of the track to reel it in. Side retired. First pitch breaking ball, and Cespedes didn't miss it by much. Still no score after 5. John Hine will have all the reactions from today's Mets opener, plus hear the debate on what to expect as they continue their series against the Braves here at Citi Field on Loudmouths, presented by Cheapo Air, today at 5:30 only on SNY. I would imagine we'll also be discussing, a little basketball game tonight.
A little one.
Yeah. Little one in Phoenix. Tar Heels and the Zags.
Can you explain to me why the Mississippi State guard didn't play more last night?
I heard she was low energy. She wasn't low energy in overtime against UConn, I can tell you that. Ender Inciarte leads off the 6th. So who do you like tonight?
Who do I like? North Carolina. Who do I want to win? Gonzaga.
That's fair. Do you have an opinion?
I'll pass.
Okay.
I like North Carolina. How can you not? I would love to see Gonzaga win.
I'm right. I'm with both of you. Yeah. I think the Tar Heels will win. I'd love to see Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, Oregon school, West Coast school. I'm a West Coaster.
A non-football school won last year. It'd be great to see another one win this year. That's pulled right at the second baseman. Walker down to a knee. And he throws out Inciarte, 1 down in the 6th. Well, Noah Syndergaard has been exactly what you would have wanted from your power pitching ace on opening day.
99 plus with his fastball, but it came out with the ability to throw his slider, his changeup, every pitch for a strike. He's been dominant. And other than the Freeman ball, which was hit on the nose for a triple, not a lot of contact against Noah this afternoon.
He's lucky it stayed in the ballpark. It might be the difference in the ball game.
Swanson takes a slider for a strike. Dansby Swanson hit a weak comebacker and took a call third strike, 0 for 2. Freeman's waiting on deck. Right now he's looking like the most formidable force for Syndergaard to face. 0-2 to Swanson. Think about it. 2 years ago at this time, Noah Syndergaard was in the minor leagues. Dansby Swanson was playing at Vanderbilt.
That's right.
And now here they are facing each other on opening day.
One guy's trying to win the Cy Young, the other guy the Rookie of the Year.
Although, you know who's also eligible as a rookie? That's lined to right, a base hit for Swanson. So there's the 4th hit for the Braves, and Freeman comes up with a man on. Robert Gesellman is still officially a rookie, so he might be in the mix.
0-2 pitch.
Fastball up in the strike zone. Swanson impressed me last year. He had 38 games, 129 at bats, and he was impressive. What impressed me most about him was his 2-strike hitting last year.
Part of the incredible wave of young shortstops who have come into the game over the last 2 or 3 years. Here's Freeman, who banged one off the fence in right field for a triple his first time, and Syndergaard will pay attention to Swanson, who stole three bases last year in his brief trial.
Well, I'd kind of hold right there and keep that hole open between. Keep Duda anchored on first base. Open that hole up for Freeman. First and third on the base hit. If you pull it in the hole.
Well, last year, I'm sure you know, Syndergaard had all sorts of problems. 48 stolen bases allowed, most in the majors since '01, most by a Met since Dwight Gooden gave up 60 in 1990.
You know what I'm beginning to think? You got 2 quality pitchers here throwing strikes, and we see so many 3-2 counts in the course of a season that, you know, it keeps the umpires sharp when you got pitchers out there around the plate. Jeff Kellogg's having a good day behind the plate. He's really calling good balls and strikes.
Well, they've both been good. Syndergaard's been a little more efficient. 73 pitches with 1 out in the 6th.
Freeman last year had 83 extra base hits. The only hitter to have more, Ortiz with Boston, at 87. So you're in scoring position when you're on first.
It only seemed like they all came against the Mets. Already hit 395 against the Mets last year. And he laces one into center for a base hit. Swanson to second. He'll turn and go to third. And the Braves have an opportunity here. First and third and 1 out. Freeman's second hit of the day.
The good hitters, you got to be careful with that changeup. And that's a good sinking change after a hard slider in that missed. But with Granderson's arm in center, there should be no doubt that you're going to take the extra bag. And Swanson never hesitates. And this is just a good pitch and just a very good hitter.
Well, the Braves got a runner to third with 1 out in the 4th. And Syndergaard then struck out Kemp. Now he's got Kemp at the plate, first and third and 1 out. Kemp is 0 for 2. Grounds the first pitch, sinker, foul.
Well, Scott Kemp the last time with when he left the runner stranded on third on 2 straight changeups out of the strike zone to finish him off. Let's see how he attacks him this time.
Swanson at third, Freeman at first with 1 out, and a scoreless game in the 6th inning. Freeman will sneak a bag every once in a while. He had 6 last year.
This is a case right here. Kemp strikes out a lot. You got a sacrifice fly. Look where his hands are. I could choke up here even a little more just to put the ball in play.
And Syndergaard quickly up in the count 0-2.
Interesting choice, right? Went to 2 two-seam sinking fastballs down and in against Kemp. Well placed. Do a lot of changeups, as you said before, looking for a ground ball. Now all bets are off. Looking for a strikeout.
0-2 to Kemp. Right back to that sinker, 1-2. Nick Markakis waiting on deck. Kemp drove in 108 runs last year between the Padres and the Braves. But he's down on the count, 1-2.
Struck him out. Syndergaard does it again with a changeup, as he did the last time against Kemp, to pin a runner at third. Now they're at 2 out.
Great sequence of pitches. You throw 2 hard sinking fastballs down and in, and then take 10 miles an hour off. There's that changeup grip we talked about before. It's not only that it's a good pitch and the differential in speed, but so well placed.
Well, and again, Syndergaard with a chance to get through a runner at third, less than 2 out situation.
Well, he's not out of the woods yet. And that was, again, Ronnie, he's learning how to make his tough pitches out of the strike zone where you can't get hurt, and see if the hitter fishes.
Markakis has been up twice, struck out both times. Right, full counts each at bat. Swanson at third, Freeman at first at 2 out. And that one sailed over Rivera.
Wow. Nice play by Rene.
You know, we always talk about the catchers that they can't run. One thing they can do is they're incredibly quick at their position. I would not run Freeman. I keep that hole open with Syndergaard throwing a lot of sliders down and in to Markakis.
Yep. So Syndergaard's velocity not quite where it was in the early innings. A little bit up with his first 2 pitches, and Rivera's going to bring it out to him for a conversation.
Pretty soon there'll be a day when the catchers are banned from going to the mound.
Or at least there'll be limits put on, as there is in Japan.
I mean, visits per game.
How about visits by first baseman? Should that be
hold out? Jeez, you would have had to get an anchor around me to hold me there.
Syndergaard's been behind in the count more than he'd like to today. And now he's behind Markakis 3-0. Brandon Phillips on deck.
Would you give Markakis a hit sign?
Absolutely.
I would.
Veteran hitter, 3-0.
And just know as a hitter, okay, this is not where I'm looking middle in to hit a home run. I'm going up the middle to get a base hit and put us ahead.
There's no counter with a breaking pitch.
Syndergaard hasn't walked about it today. And he goes after the 3-0 breaking ball. How about that?
Yes, knew it.
So the philosophy, folks out there, usually 3-0 hit sign. You don't swing at a secondary pitch. You're looking for a fastball to hit. Surprising that he swung.
First and third and 2 down. 3-1 to Markakis. And he foul tipped that one. 3-2. So Syndergaard battling back from 3-0. Run a full count on Markakis for the 3rd time today.
Look at the crowd. Are they into it?
Duda drops back. Freeman will be running. Fouled it away.
A better swing there by Markakis. That's a spinner.
Helicopter.
Cement mixer. Hansel Robles to work in the Mets bullpen. It's been the first inning where Syndergaard has looked vulnerable.
2. In the air, left field. Cespedes steadies. Side retired. Syndergaard finds his way out of trouble again in the 6th. Keeps it scoreless on opening day.
Here comes the City Prep Patrol.
Scoreless inning, but some attention being paid to Noah in the dugout.
You know, we were saying that his stuff dropped off a little bit in that inning, and there might be a reason for it as he's showing his finger to Worthen. Usually that means a blister on a pitching hand. Worthen confirms it to Terry Collins, who wants to take a look at it at some point, make sure to see what he sees before he makes his decision.
Yeah, Ray Ramirez, the trainer, there as well. Well, there you see it.
Oh, there it is. Yes, sir.
Thumb.
I've got it a lot of places. Never got one on the thumb.
Change up grip?
Maybe.
Curtis Granderson tops one back toward Tehran. And there's the first out of the bottom of the 6th. So Tehran soldiering on. We'll see whether Syndergaard is able to continue. The Mets have action in their bullpen, so it certainly would appear as though Syndergaard's day may have come to an end.
Boy, these are the kind of ball games I love. Love to watch two pitchers locking up on each other, dealing.
Here's Neil Walker. And Walker takes a pitch after the last 3 Met hitters all made out on the first pitch.
The veteran is paying attention.
Walker has fly to center, hit a little looper to short. Tehran has had to expend a lot of energy, but the Mets have not had a runner as far as third base, while the Braves have gotten one there twice, each time with less than 2 out, but failed to score. And Walker hits one in the air to right field, chasing Markakis back right to the edge of the track, and that's the second out.
Be at Citi Field Saturday, April 22nd, when the Mets take on the Nationals at 4:05 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Matt Harvey Garden Gnome, courtesy of Citi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets.
I wonder if Matt approved of that.
Oh, I am certain. Last year we had the Syndergaard Garden Gnome, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I know, but I'm just being silly.
I would love to see a Keith Hernandez Garden Gnome.
Oh, that's coming. You know it is now.
There's no gnomes in Spain.
How do you know? It's the great unknown.
Oh, there was one to drive.
Jay Bruce has grounded out and walked today. Well, there he is in the uniform.
Look at that.
Not quite gnome-like.
Wrinkle-free. Jeez.
2 good knees.
And a hip. 2 good hips.
Away to Bruce, 2-1.
Let me tell you, I'm glad I kept my Major League Baseball health insurance.
Been using it a lot
Lately.
More and more. Three and 1 to Bruce. Tehran has walked 2 today, struck out 6, allowed just 4 hits, all singles. No action in the Atlanta bullpen as he works over 90 pitches. And Bruce lays off, ball 4. Second time he's walked today, the third given up by Tehran, and Duda will come up with a man on. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
To me, that's twice that Tehran has been overly careful with Bruce, with Duda coming up. Not a complete pitch around, but very careful.
Well, he had Duda at the plate with 2 men on in the 4th, and he struck him out with a high, tight fastball. This time keeps it away from him, ball 1. And every time Duda gets one of those high inside fastballs, I think of that home run he hit against Jordan Zimmerman 2 years ago in that Sunday night game.
Right.
Where you think there's no way he can keep that ball fair.
Zimmerman couldn't believe it.
In the air off the end of the bat, and in comes Kemp. That retires the side. 6 scoreless innings for Julio Tehran, 6 scoreless innings for Noah Syndergaard. No score on opening day. Opening day at Citi Field, Noah Syndergaard and Julio Teheran matching zeros through 6. It's been fun to watch, but Syndergaard's day has come to an end, apparently because of a blister.
Well, I was thinking that it doesn't look too much different than the last time he pitched at Citi Field, where he went 7 shutout innings, 6 shutout here, and still has nothing to show for it. But for his first start of the year, outstanding.
There's been just it's a lot of goose eggs up there, and there's a reason for it. These two pitchers have made wonderful pitches. Syndergaard's pitched out of jams. Teheran has pitched out of a few jams. It's just been fun to watch for me.
The plan was for Syndergaard's second start to come over the weekend against the Marlins. Would you worry about that right now?
I certainly would. You know, they were going to skip. Was it Gesellman and
push it
have
back
him
to
pitch
the 6th game,
and
right?
maybe you'd give him an extra day.
Well, Hansel Robles will try and pick him up against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Atlanta batting order.
But we talked about all of those relievers in the pen for the Mets would be moved up because of Familia not in the pen. But Robles, this is usually where he belongs in a game, in the 7th inning.
Brandon Phillips leading off in the 7th. So Syndergaard went 6, no runs, 5 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. 86 pitches in 6 innings, and we'll wait for some kind of indication as to the severity of what apparently was a blister on his thumb that knocked him out of the game. Robles, who pitched for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic, looking to take another step forward after a very encouraging year last year. Grounded down to third. Reyes with a nice pick on the backhand, and he throws him out.
Beautiful play.
Tough hop.
Well, I'll say. On the backhand. Playing the long hop. Well done. Still got the good hands.
So 1 out and nobody on now. Adonis Garcia, who's 0 for 2.
You know, if you didn't see our open, the Mets fans gave Bartolo Colon a big hand, and Terry Collins did that today in his meeting when he talked about Robles and Familia, how they've moved forward at a quicker pace because of Colon's guidance.
Another chance for Reyes. Easier hop this time. And quickly there are 2 out.
Boy, 2 hangers, 2 ground balls to Reyes.
Check out today's Verizon trivia question. Prior to Cespedes, oh, this is a tough one. Who was the last Met to start back-to-back opening days in left field? It's been a while.
I think I know who it is. Left-hand hitter.
Yes.
Tall, lean.
Yes.
Strong.
Yes.
Okay.
All those things.
Talked a lot like me.
Makes his living on radio and TV these days. Tyler Flowers takes ball 1.
One of the good guys.
Sharp dresser.
Yeah. Flowers has got some pop.
2-0 to him. He had a base hit his last time up. Jace Peterson has come out on deck to bat for Teheran if Flowers keeps the inning going. We've got a lefty up in the Atlanta bullpen. Ian Kroll is on call. Well, it seemed like the Braves had a different bullpen every time we saw them last year.
Yes.
Really, the last 2 seasons, right?
Hoping for a little more stability this year. And now Robles behind Flowers, 3-1.
We noticed that Robles, one thing different than last year, he's got a little pause at the top of his delivery to the plate in the stretch.
Of course, what's interesting about that is that the quick pitch has become a staple of the Met relievers' arsenal. Now the slow pitch is added as well with that hang of the leg. 3-2 to Flowers with 2 out. Foul back this way.
Nope. All these years in the booth, guys, not one ball up here. Only one came close.
I think we have to throw out a line out to some physics teachers. Got to come up here and figure out if a ball could come in this booth.
On a bounce, it could.
No, I'm talking about in the air.
On the fly, never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Not with this overhang.
To get over the screen and underneath the overhang, no way. You would have to have the kind of spin that a good soccer player could put on the ball.
Oh,
right?
Bend it like Beckham.
Exactly.
I was thinking, much to the dismay of some people, would love a ball to come in this booth.
Yeah, well, depending on the target. 8th pitch of the at bat coming from Robles to Flowers. And it's in there for a call, strike 3. So Robles comes in and fashions a 1-2-3 inning. Picking up where Syndergaard left off. Syndergaard with 6 scoreless innings. And now Robles with a couple of ground balls and a strikeout gets the Mets to the bottom of the 7th inning. Still in a scoreless game on opening day as the Mets and Braves battle here. The Braves are going to be going to their bullpen, but first, time to head it to the public address announcer, Alex Anthony.
Please welcome firefighter Regina Wilson of the FDNY.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Pitching for the Braves as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, see the numbers. Kroll had a strong year last year, only 13 walks and more strikeouts than innings pitched.
First saw him as a national before he went to Detroit and then acquired in the Cameron Maybin trade from the Tigers. Rene Rivera leads off. Pitcher spot due up next, and Wilmer Flores out on deck to pinch hit, which makes it surprising that Brian Snitker wouldn't have a right-hand pitcher up in the bullpen, given Flores' prowess against left-handed pitching. Rivera has flied out and hit into a fielder's choice. So Tehran went 6, allowed no runs, 4 hits, walked 3 and struck out 6.
And nothing to show for it.
Well, last year he went 7 and 10 despite pitching well. That's what happens when you play for a team that struggles.
Now, you mentioned having a righty up in that bullpen. You got to manage these games differently. You got a day off tomorrow. All hands on deck.
And Rivera slugs one to the left for a base hit. So Rene Rivera gets the Mets started in the bottom of the 7th, and now Wilmer Flores will come up to pinch hit.
He throws hard, but that ball drifted right back over the middle and inside to Rivera.
Well, you don't send Wilmer Flores up here in the bottom of the 7th to bunt. I don't, with a lefty out there.
Rivera will leave, and Travis d'Arnaud will run for him. A little better wheels, and then Travis will stay in to catch. Well, Wilmer just tore up left-handers and spat them out last year. And he gets a crack against Kroll here with a go-ahead run at first and nobody out. Wilmer has a base hit in his only career at bat against Kroll. And that bounces not far enough away from Flowers for d'Arnaud to make a break.
I think that was a good choice by d'Arnaud. You're kind of cold off the bench. I know they have like a first baseline, almost like a track where they can get loose, but still to react and get it going right off the bat. I think that was a good choice.
Those are the numbers for Wilmer against lefties last year. .340 with 11 home runs and just 100 at bats. Ruthian against lefties.
Big hole between first and second. You're talking about late in the game and close situational hitting.
By the way, when the Mets were introduced before the game today and they came out to the foul line, a lot of Mets got huge ovations, but nobody got a bigger ovation than Wilmer Flores.
It's so true. Rock star here.
Chaz Rowe, the right-hander, now up in the Atlanta bullpen. Jose Reyes and Asdrubal Cabrera, a couple of switch hitters to follow behind Flores. No score, bottom of the 7th. And Wilmer takes a fastball in tight. 2-1.
And Kroll throws good.
He's straight, but he's got good velocity.
He's 25 years old. Flores fouls it off. 2-2. Both starters went 6 scoreless. Neither will factor in the decision. Quick throw, and d'Arnaud just got back. d'Arnaud running for Rivera. And Wilmer grounds one down to third. Garcia to Phillips, who hangs on. Almost got handcuffed by that throw.
I don't know how he got handcuffed. The throw wasn't that bad. Boy, you got to try to turn 2 there, don't you? Wilmer's not fleet of foot. I'm a little bit surprised. He just did not make a good catch there.
Yeah, he juggled it a little bit, Keith.
That's got to be, you got to turn that.
Caught it right on the heel of his glove, more with his bare hand than his glove.
Yeah, 4-time Gold Glover. See if the Mets can take advantage of that.
So now 1 out and 1 on. Here's Reyes, who's had a frustrating day at the plate. 0 for 3. Twice has been called out on strikes.
On the right side this time. Always felt Jose was a better hitter from the right side of the plate. More power.
Taking a long look down at Glenn Sherlock, the Mets' new third base coach. You got Flores, a slow runner at first with 1 out. And a foul tip. 1-1. Back at the track.
The Mets would like to get the track moving, but you know what I just realized from last year, the Mets really can't do anything when they have people on base because they don't have a lot of speed. You know, late in games you're thinking, what can a team do maybe to generate a run? For the Mets, not much.
Well, you can play hit and run with a slow runner, but you better make contact.
Yeah. And Reyes is not that guy.
And Terry is not a big believer in the hit and run.
Yes, you're right.
There he goes, Flores. So they play hit and run, and Reyes missed the pitch, and Flowers never got a throw off. It's a stolen base for Flores. How about that?
It was a pitch that Reyes could not. You're not going to get a great jump. Although Wilmer doesn't even look back. I wonder if Wilmer just got a little frisky there.
There's no way.
Hard to believe.
He got to look back at the hitter, see where the ball is.
That's the 3rd stolen base of Wilmer's career. He had 1 last year. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out. 1-2 coming to Reyes, and he takes a breaking ball low, and Wilmer did not choose to try for 3rd. If you'll remember, it was last year in Atlanta where Flores got thrown out at the plate in a key spot, and Terry second-guessed himself about not pinch running for him. Whereas that was the situation where they were down by a run rather than in a tie game. Inside and a full count to Reyes. Is that an endorsement for mustard?
I've heard of whiteouts, but Jesus, like a Frank Zappa song there.
3-2 to Reyes with Cabrera on deck, and Jose bounces 1 foul. 2 stolen bases today for the Mets from unlikely candidates. I guess on this team, other than Reyes, everybody's an unlikely candidate. But Cabrera and Flores with the stolen bases today, they combined for 6 all of last year. Again, the 3-2. And Reyes pulls that one foul. Jose began the day with 488 career stolen bases. There are 38 players in Major League history who've stolen 500. So Reyes has a chance to join that company sometime this season. Eighth pitch of the at bat, and Reyes takes a fastball out of the strike zone for ball 4. And the Mets have 2 men on. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. 4th walk the Mets have drawn today. And now Cabrera, who has 2 of the Mets' 5 hits. Twice a single to right. Both of those as a left-hand batter. Now he'll bat right-handed for the first time. Flores at second, Reyes at first with 1 out. Scoreless game in the 7th, each team with 5 hits. The fastball on the corner from Kroll, 0-1.
And this will definitely be, unless he gets a double play here to get out of the inning, it'll be Kroll's last man.
You got Cespedes on deck, right-hander getting loose in the bullpen.
Cabrera lines one up the middle, a base hit. Flores to third. He's being waved home. Here comes Inciarte's throw. On a hop. He's out at the plate. Flores is gunned down. Inciarte gets him for the second out of the inning.
What a throw, and I got to see the replay here.
Terry Collins is putting up the hold sign. He now has 30 seconds to decide whether to challenge.
What a perfect throw. One hopper for the catcher. I don't know why Flowers. He's safe.
Terry is going to challenge the call, and it looked as though he got that foot in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why Flowers was behind the plate.
I have no idea why Flowers was behind the plate.
He was trying to take it on the big hop instead of taking it on the short hop. He didn't have enough time to do that.
So we might well see this call overturned. If so, the Mets would have the lead if the replay officials judge that that foot hit the plate, which it certainly appeared as though it did.
You know what fooled me is that no argument from Wilmer Flores as soon as he came up. You thought he would at least signal he was safe there. But he just went back to the dugout.
So the replay officials will try and determine whether Flores actually was safe. The play under review brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. Jeff Kellogg in good position to make the call, but it certainly appeared as though that right foot hit the front of the plate before Flowers made the tag.
I mean, Flowers has got to be in front of the plate, take it on a short hop, and with the sweep tag. That's the only way you can make that play.
What the heck is he doing a good 2-3 feet behind home plate? I've never seen a catcher do that on a close play.
Looks like we're going to have a decision, and he's safe, and the Mets take the lead. So the call is overturned. The Mets win the challenge, and the first run of the season scores on a replay challenge. As Dribble Cabrera with the RBI single, his third hit of the day, and it's 1-0 New York.
Well, clutching out, Mr. Cabrera. Beautiful day at the plate. 3 líneas.
So Cabrera comes through. Flores gets the foot in safely. The Mets have the lead, and Brian Snitker will make a pitching change and bring in a right-hander to face Cespedes. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. 1-0 Mets in the 7th. We'll be right back. of the season with his 3rd hit of the day. And now the Mets up 1-0. Chaz Rowe in to pitch to Yoenis Cespedes with 2 aboard and 1 out. Cespedes 0 for 3 today. Reyes at second, Cabrera at first, and Cespedes takes low and away from Rowe, ball 1.
Chaz Rowe stats with Atlanta. Started with the Diamondbacks, Yankees, Baltimore.
Former 1st-round pick of the Rockies, now 30 years old. And Rowe quickly behind Cespedes, 2-0. Curtis Granderson on deck, and so the Braves keep the bullpen busy. They've got a left-hander up.
That's got to be a Flaherty, has it not? Are they carrying 3 lefties?
I got 2 lefties, Keith
Yeah,
Kroll and O'Flaherty.
Yeah.
And a 2-0 slider misses badly, and now it's 3-0 to Cespedes. Chaz Rowe pitching as though he doesn't really want much of a part of Cespedes, but this will be the only guy he faces. O'Flaherty, who was briefly a Met 2 years ago.
It's hard to have your hitter swing 3-0 when the guy hasn't thrown one close in the first 3 pitches.
Good call, Ron.
Cespedes does swing and fouls off the fastball. Granderson next, and undoubtedly will face O'Flaherty. Three-1 coming to Cespedes. And he takes it high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Here's the base hit right here. Fastball up, belt high, not in enough. Full extension of the arms. Nice fat pitch, and here's the play at the plate. Look at Flowers. What are you thinking? And Wilmer, not the fleetest of foot.
You know, I'll take this back. If Flowers is in front of the plate, it wouldn't even have been a short hop. It would have been a perfect hop.
You know what I also think, too? If you don't have that ridiculous blocking of home plate rule, then your catcher can stand on home plate and make the play.
Braves are going to make a double switch. Jace Peterson comes in. So does Eric O'Flaherty. Mets have a 1-0 lead and looking for more. We'll come back. Curtis Granderson up with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the former Met Eric O'Flaherty throws a slider out of the strike zone for ball one.
Struggled with the Mets last year. You saw his entirety of his season was a struggle also. 13.5 ERA in 16 games for the Mets last year.
O'Flaherty was, as Jace Peterson, who came in to play third, he'll bat ninth. O'Flaherty will hit seventh. Adonis Garcia came out. Reyes at third, Cabrera at second, Cespedes at first, and Granderson takes low and in, and it's 2-0. So Rowe came in, faced one batter, fell behind Cespedes 3-0 and eventually walked him. And now O'Flaherty in to face his man, and he's fallen behind 2-0 with the bases full.
The bullpen.
The Braves had struggles in their bullpen most of last season. And there's a strike to Granderson, 2-1. I was going to say O'Flaherty was introduced to the crowd along with the rest of the Braves today, and his reaction was priceless. He got a smattering of boos. And he kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, not too bad.
he thought it was going to be worse.
Well, you know, he thought they remembered him better than they did. Swing and a miss, 2-2. He really had a rough time. 16 games the Met 2 years ago when the Mets got him for the stretch drive, and it got to the point where they couldn't pitch him anymore.
Well, when he was in the bullpen with Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell, there wasn't a better trio in baseball for a time.
2-2 to Granderson, who's 1 for 3 against O'Flaherty. And that's off the plate, full count. Nobody up in the Braves bullpen. Walker on deck, a switch hitter. Reyes, Cabrera, and Cespedes, the base runners. Mets have a run home here in the 7th on Cabrera's RBI hit. 3-2 to Granderson. In the air to right center field. That'll get a run in. Inciarte is back to get it. Reyes tags at third. He comes home to score on the sacrifice fly by Granderson, and it's 2-0 New York.
Well done, Curtis.
So the Mets have played it a pair now in the 7th. And now Neil Walker will get his first right-handed at bat. Neil had a rejuvenated right-hand season last year. Went from a liability as a right-hand hitter to a season where he was actually more dangerous right-handed than left. Batting here with 2 out and 2 on. And he takes a strike. Eight home runs and just 100 at bats from the right side.
Well, he tied a career high 23 home runs last year, and he missed how much, a month of the last season or more.
I mean, he had more home runs from the right side last year than he had his entire career combined.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 runs are charged to Kroll.
We got word on Noah Syndergaard that the blister that forced him out of the game is actually on the tip of his middle finger. And the ball gets far enough away from Flowers that Cabrera is able to take third. No advance by Cespedes, but it's a wild pitch that moves Cabrera over to third base.
Second wild pitch of the game for the Bravos.
Flowers is having a rough inning.
Yeah.
The ball looked like he should have been able to smother. This inning began with a base hit by Rene Rivera. Walk to Reyes. Cabrera's RBI hit on further review. Granderson with the sac fly. And now Walker takes another one in the dirt on the slider by O'Flaherty, and it's 3-1.
A little better technique here by Flowers as he smothers that pitch in the dirt.
Still not Molina-esque. See the ovation he got last night after signing that contract extension.
3 years, $60 million.
3-1 coming, and there's ball 4, and the bases are reloaded for Jay Bruce.
Jeez.
Third walk of the inning by 3 different pitchers. Tehran came out after 6, having thrown 96 pitches. And we saw it last year with the Braves. If if you're Brian Snitker, you just hold your breath every time you go to the pen. And now Bruce with a chance to do some major damage with the bases loaded and 2 out. He's already walked twice and grounded out. 6 walks now for Atlanta pitching today. And the slider not even close, and Flowers has to knock that one down.
Bruce 1 for 7 against O'Flaherty. Just a handful of at-bats. I used to always love to have a pitcher throw a breaking ball with the bases loaded in a jam and miss the first pitch. Make it 1-0 and you miss with the breaking ball. I thought it put me in command of the at-bat. No offense, Ron.
None taken. I never faced you.
Cabrera, Cespedes, and Walker the base runners. And Bruce takes a fastball for a strike. It is interesting how the Mets lineup is constructed right now with Granderson, Walker, Bruce, and Duda 4 through 7. If you do have a quality lefty out of the pen, it gives an opposing manager the chance to run him out there for a while.
What's going to be curious, oh man, is a game like this late. Duda coming up. Would he pinch hit with Flores? I think he will. Duda's going to have to get used to that.
Wilmer pinch hit in this inning, scored the first run of the game, and now it's 3-1 to Bruce. Flaherty having all sorts of trouble.
You know what's interesting about that, though? You have Snitker thinking that, boy, this is a place where I can get my left-hander in, but left-handers aren't used to facing that many hitters in a row.
Now Bruce in a delicious spot. Ahead of the count, 3-1 with the bases full. And there's ball 4 to force in another run. The 4th walk of the inning produces the 3rd one of the inning, and it's 3-0 New York.
Well, that is inexcusable.
Well, this is going to be our first look at their new pitching coach. Roger McDowell was here for so many seasons, and now Chuck Hernandez, who was the pitching coach in Detroit and other places, is their new pitching coach.
Rogers in Baltimore now?
Baltimore.
Chuck Hernandez was down with the Marlins for a while.
Marlins, yep.
Well, Marty Reed might be wearing out that bullpen phone by the end of this series.
What does the pitching coach tell his pitcher right now?
Throw strikes.
Mix in a strike.
I don't want to make too much of this, but Bruce, in the middle of last season when the struggles were on, in any instance like that, he wanted to swing the bat and do something big. He's content to take the walk because they won't pitch to him. Well, that's a good thing.
The Braves had 35 pitchers last year come out of that pen, and that was most in major leagues. They give up the least home runs in the major leagues, 42. But boy, they are giving it up here today.
Jose Ramirez up in the bullpen now. Lucas Duda, the 9th man up in the inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. And he flares one foul.
Like it. Lucas went after first pitch.
How about this? This surprises me. Last year, the Mets drew 3 bases loaded walks the entire season in 138 plate appearances with the bases full. They already have their first for this year. That's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Duda drives one to center. Inciarte chasing back, and it's over his head and rolling to the wall. Cespedes is in. Walker scores. Bruce right behind him. A bases clearing double for Lucas Duda. 6-0 New York.
Well, we talked about how they play shallow outfield here, particularly Inciarte, the Gold Glove center fielder. And they get burned here. And what I said earlier with Terry Collins in situations like this, is he going to pinch hit Flores for Duda? Well, if Lucas keeps on doing stuff like this against left-handers, he's going to stay in the lineup.
Well, you and Terry Collins have always talked about Lucas using left center, particularly against left-hand pitchers. And it worked for him there, a 3 RBI double. Now Travis d'Arnaud, who pinch ran earlier in the inning, gets his first at bat. Rene Rivera started the inning with a base hit to left field. d'Arnaud ran for him, and the Mets have scored 6 times, and they're still batting. It's a big hit for Duda after the Mets scratched out the first 3 runs. Duda gets the big blow to break the game open.
Bullpens.
Well, the bullpen has been the same for the Braves. Each pitcher behind every hitter.
Kroll, Rowe, O'Flaherty, they've all struggled. And now it's 3-0 to d'Arnaud.
Jeez.
O'Flaherty's already walked 2. Wilmer Flores is on deck, getting ready for his second at bat of the inning if d'Arnaud keeps it going. And Chuck Hernandez back on the phone to Marty Reed. Is Jose Ramirez ready? He better be.
Yeah, right.
Wow. And a 4-pitch walk, the 3rd given up by O'Flaherty, and the 5th of the inning. Wow.
That is terrible. Bill Stankowski.
Well, it would appear Eric O'Flaherty's best moment of this opening day will have been not heavily booed, because he struggled in his return to the Citi Field mound.
6 runs home in the inning.
Will there be more to come? We'll be right back. By the State Farm agent of the game, Pat Cauley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat at patcauley.com. And by the Better Network, Verizon, Better matters. Never seen Cauley smile that much.
Well, he had the wrong name. He might be in the witness protection program.
Braves will go to their 4th pitcher of the inning, Jose Ramirez, the former Yankee.
Well, Ramirez made the team out of spring training last year, but then was outrighted to Gwinnett and then came up later in the year. And he was one of the shining pitchers for them out of the bullpen late.
Wilmer Flores will get his 2nd at bat of the inning. The first was as a pinch hitter. This is a non-pinch hitting at bat. And a check swing. It goes to the backstop, and the runners move up. I didn't know if he had made contact or not, but apparently not. And that's yet another wild pitch.
You think it's a wild pitch?
That's a pass ball there.
I think it could be a pass ball. Let's see. That's a pass ball.
Right.
Oh
boy.
That's box it and send me a dozen.
Tyler Flowers is just having an awful inning. The tag at home plate, which he should have been able to make on Wilmer Flores, but for his ill positioning, and now unable to stop several balls that have sailed by him. That one a pass ball.
That play or non-play changed the whole direction of this game.
So now 2 in scoring position for Wilmer.
Man.
Slider off the plate, 2-0. Now we all noted that Wilmer handled himself better against right-hand pitching during spring training this year. So it'll be interesting to see if that carries over. Oh my word. There have been 5 walks issued in this inning by the Braves and 8 for the afternoon. And now here's Ramirez coming in and falling behind his first hitter, 3-0. Jose Reyes, who walked earlier in the inning, is on deck. 6 runs are home in what once was a scoreless game. Off the fist, right toward the bag. Swanson sweeps it up, and the inning finally comes to an end. But 11 Mets came to bat, and 6 of them came home. 3 of them on a 3-run double by Lucas Duda, and the Mets lead 6-0 after 7. Nothing lead. Well, this is a very strange and sad opening day for us at SNY. It's our first opening day since the passing of our beloved director, Bill Webb. Bill passed away earlier this spring, and some of the pictures here with his family, his wife Cindy, and his 3 kids. And Bill meant so much to us personally, as well as being the seminal director of his time for baseball on television. And it's very odd for all of us to be here without Webby today.
Baseball is never going to be the same doing the game in the booth with Webby gone. You know, this is such a gypsy life. He was my best friend on the road, and you know, I'm trying to let people know out there, he just was so good at his job that all of us learned almost every single day how to do this job better.
Well, Ron, we've known Bill before our days in the booth as players, and as I said earlier, in spring training, we don't get friendly as players with the people in the truck. Sometimes we don't know who the heck they are. But Bill, I stop in the way home and run into him. I feel like I've lost a dear friend, and someone, obviously I cut my teeth in the booth with him.
I mean, it's hard for folks at home to understand the kind of impact that Bill Webb had on their experience of watching games on television, but Bill basically rewrote the book on how to direct baseball on television, and much of what you see and hear on these broadcasts is a direct result of his amazing ability to bring the game home to the viewers.
You know, for our young people out there, I know you use the word GOAT all the time when you're talking about the greatest of all time. Usually it's people that you can have a discussion about. You can't have a discussion when you're talking about Webby. He was a GOAT. Greatest of all time.
Well, he will be in our hearts forever. And as Peterson strikes out against Salas for the first out in the 8th. And in addition to staying in our memories, we've also renamed our truck. Used to be Amazin', but after Webby's passing, Amazin' took a back seat to Webby. And that's how our truck, where the controls lie to these broadcasts, will be named. The nice thing about having Bill Webb in our memory is that the stories are unlimited.
Oh,
yes. Not all airable, but unlimited.
Well, yes. I think one of the most interesting things that Bill had a family memorial I was lucky enough to go to with Greg Picker, our producer, and all of Bill's producers when he worked were there. And I just sat there and listened to all of them tell story after story. And it was almost like each one couldn't wait till the next one was over his story so he could tell his. And they could have done that for 8 hours or more.
Cespedes coming on, can't get to the foul ball by Inciarte.
Well, I know that all those years at Shea Stadium and the tunnel that went back into the clubhouse, I used to smoke. We all know that, you Met fans. You couldn't see the game if you went down there because it's against the rules. And so I would go into the closest to home plate and where the helmets were, and I'd hide in the cubbyhole. And Webby would have that doggone low first base camera on me. And I go, Bill, would you get that camera off of me? He goes, Keith, it's television. It's good TV. I go, Bill, it's costing me $100.
He knew where the stories were.
He said, I'll buy you a drink.
Well, of course, Bill was also the director for all the big games on Fox TV, and there he is at Fenway Park, looking out of the scoreboard of the Green Monster.
Bet he was looking for a camera angle there, huh?
And you know, Ronnie, you talked about all of his producers, and you know, you look around this ballpark and all of his camera people.
That's right.
To whom he was so loyal and who had such great affection and loyalty toward him. He was demanding, and yet he was a member of your family, and those guys feel it the most.
It was almost like if you're a camera person, you got called to the big leagues if you got called to do a Bill Webb broadcast, and you knew, one, that's an amazing thing to happen to you, but two, you got to be on your toes because Bill is coming.
Well, I have this. I taped up this thing that's going to be here forever, and it's. How many? Bill will tell you how many Emmys he won. I forgot. There's so many.
40 something, I know.
But it's right here, and that's where it's going to stay. And this is where I keep my stats, and when I look over, I will always see Bill.
Well, we used to use that.
There it is.
That graphic right there with the juggling Emmys, and that's only 4 of the 40-something. I love the top hat.
That's right.
Best part. It's like the ringmaster, and so he was.
Well, you know, Webby died too young. That's obvious. It's at 70 years old, and I'll say the same thing about Webby that I said about the great Ralph Kiner, and that is that if you've lived a great life, and they both did, you're really sad when they pass away, and then when you start to think about them, a smile comes to your face almost every single time because of all the great moments you had.
Salas having trouble putting away Inciarte. And he struck him out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Salas to start the 8th inning. 2 out and nobody on.
Well, with Salas, you're going to get someone who doesn't beat himself. Throws strikes. 17 appearances last year for the Mets. He was outstanding almost in each and every one.
Now Dansby Swanson, who has one of the Braves' 5 hits today, singled to right against Syndergaard in the 6th inning. Noah went 6, allowed no runs, 5 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts, left with a blister on his middle finger. Hansel Robles, who's in line for this win, pitched a 1-2-3 7th. And now Salas picking up from there. And scored all 6 of their runs in the bottom of the 7th. An inning that featured just 3 hits and 5 walks.
That's 8 base runners.
In the air to right, easy for Bruce. And that retires the side. Strong inning for Fernando Salas. As we remember our beloved director, Bill Webb. Big hit in this game turned a 3-0 game into a 6-0 game with a bases clearing double. Asdrubal Cabrera with 3 of the Mets' 7 hits today. And he drove in the first Met run in that 6-run 7th. Mets sent 11 men to the plate in the 7th. Jose Reyes walked and scored. Otherwise 0 for 3 today, and he takes a strike from Jose Ramirez.
Jose is saying, come on, you've been calling that pitch all day on me. It's 3 inches, 2 inches outside. Called him out twice looking on that pitch.
Well, you're up 6-0 with 1 more inning to pitch. Who do you use in the 9th inning on opening day? Well, the answer today is an offbeat one for Terry Collins, as that's grounded down to first and Freeman makes the play, because the guy he has up in the bullpen is his 5th starter, Robert Gazelman, who right now is scheduled to pitch on Sunday in the Mets' 6th game against the Marlins. Now with Syndergaard's blister, that could change. They could move him to Saturday, but either way it would behoove him to get some work before then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my only thought is that it's been a long time since Addison Reed has pitched in the game, but the veteran probably knows how to keep himself ready, so give the youngster an inning.
Well, here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who has a chance to become the 7th Met ever to get 4 hits on opening day. He's got 3. The last Met to get 4 hits on opening day, Xavier Nady, 2006.
Oh, the X-Man.
Others to do it: Todd Hundley, Jeff Kent, Darryl Strawberry, Kevin McReynolds, and believe it or not, in 1979, Richie Hebner. The best day he had as the Met was his first one.
Well, let me tell you,
your favorite ball player, isn't it, Gary?
I used to come as a Cardinal around the batting cage when the Mets were hitting first at Shea, and Richie Hebner balls. He couldn't. I hate this place. I hate this ballpark. I want out of here.
But he got 4 hits on opening day. He was a tremendous hitter.
Yes, he was.
Just not as a Met.
He swung like a hockey player. Yeah, that hockey player swing, a low ball hitter.
He was a Boston guy, right?
Yes.
Massachusetts guy.
Grave digger. Right.
In the offseason.
He was part of those great pirate hitting ball clubs.
Had some good days for the Phillies, too.
I remember he used to always pull up his sleeves around his arms to show his guns before he hit.
Yes, he did. I don't know if that was the reason. 2-2 coming. And Cabrera lofts that foul.
Well, he was part of Richie was a part of those great pirate lineups. Stargell, Richie Zisk, back on that. Dave Cash before he was traded.
Al Oliver there.
Al Oliver was there, probably the best third hitter of my generation I've ever saw.
And Bill Matlock there for part of the time.
Yes, he was. But Bill played third. That's where Richie played.
Popped up. And Peterson has got it. 2 out.
We're excited about the year, and if there is a window, we're in it. Obviously, we have in mind what the possibilities are, but ultimately, their performance in spring training will dictate what happens.
Well, a new season is upon us. See what it took to get here with a look at today's premiere of Mets Insider, which you just saw. Sandy Alderson has built this team.
Yes, he has.
Gotten them to the postseason 2 years in a row.
Yes, he has built this team.
Cespedes unloads one to deep left center. Back goes Inciarte. He'll have room. And 2 steps from the wall, he reels it in to retire the side. Second time today that Cespedes has just missed one. We go to the 9th on opening day. Mets with a 6-0 lead. Won 44 games and countless hearts. He was the everyman who was an iconic figure over the last 3 seasons, and his home run will live forever. Tomorrow, well, actually Wednesday, he'll take the mound against the Mets here at Citi Field. Bartolo Colon the Game 2 starter for the Braves against Jacob deGrom. Then Thursday night, Matt Harvey against Jaime Garcia. Coming up tonight, Geico Sports Night at 10:30. Much more on opening day. The national championship game tonight in Phoenix, and football news as well. All on Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30 right here on SNY.
That's a
now
big
there's Bart. Always looking like nothing's bothering him.
Always has that weighted ball, right?
And Bart's probably saying, geez, I better go 9 because this bullpen's going to cough it.
Robert Gazelman will pitch the top of the 9th. Goes after Freddie Freeman with a fastball. 0-1. Now you got Bart and R.A. Dickey, two of the more popular Mets of this decade, you'd have to say. And there's the third hit of the day for Freddie Freeman, who's picking up where he left off last season.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that Freddie wasn't going to get off to a bad start this year like he did last year.
Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. Last Met before Cespedes to start back-to-back opening days in left field. That is Clifford.
There we go.
Cornelius.
Oh, Don Cornelius.
Since then, in order, the starting opening day left fielders for the Mets: Moises Alou, Angel Pagan, Daniel Murphy, Jason Bay, Willie Harris, Jason Bay again, Lucas Duda, Andrew Brown, Michael Kadire.
Wow.
Those are the starting left fielders for the Mets between 2007 and 2015.
Didn't Andrew Brown go deep in that game?
I think he did.
3-run bomb here. Zellman pumped up, throwing 96.
In the air to left, chasing Cespedes back. It's over his head, and one hop to the wall. Freeman digs for third, and the throw comes into second. Kemp arrives there safely, so Gazelman greeted rudely. A single by Freeman, a double by Kemp, and all of a sudden second and third and nobody out. Let's check in with the studio. WB Mason post-game live. Let's get a preview from Gary Apple and his friends. Well, Rafael Montero quickly to work in the Mets bullpen, with Gazelman failing to get an out against his first two hitters in a 6-0 game in the 9th. Nick Markakis will bat. Markakis is 0 for 3 today. We're talking about Freddie Freeman's struggles early last year. Last year it took him 9 games to get his first 3 hits. Today it took him 4 at bats.
And then he had from June 1st to the very end of the season 327.
Gazelman last year made 1 relief appearance. That was his debut, and then 7 starts. So it's his second major league relief outing.
San Diego came in.
I thought it was St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. You're right. It was St. Louis.
Yeah, 3 2/3, August 23rd in St. Louis. That was John Neese.
Yeah, someone left the game early.
It was Neese.
Yeah.
Neese got released.
But then he got re-signed.
No, but just recently John spring training got released.
But then he got re-signed
by
the Yankees to a minor league deal.
Okay.
1-1 to Markakis with Brandon Phillips on deck. And there's a sinking strike. 1-2. Zellman, 23 years old, big basketball star in high school out in California. And he certainly burst on the scene late last season. He and Seth Lugo as saviors for the banged up Mets pitching staff. Lugo begins this year on the disabled list. Looks like just a mild issue with his elbow.
Yeah, they were saying kind of like a tired arm issue, but You know, we saw Drew Smyly as a pitcher that suffered from that. A few pitchers have had to get some rest after the WBC.
Of course, Lugo did such great work for Puerto Rico in the WBC. Wound up pitching in the championship game. Full count to Markakis, so things getting a little dicey here in the 9th inning. Even with a 6-run lead, there's only so far that Terry Collins will mess around before he gets Addison Reed up.
You think, Ronnie, any mentally, Gesellman had such a great spring starting? You know, now he's in relief. I'm unfamiliar.
I think what happens for a young guy, he comes in, he feels really good, is throwing hard, and he forgets about the other pitches that make him successful.
On the inside corner, he gets Markakis looking for the first down. Beautifully spotted, one away.
Third strikeout of Markakis. Not a good game for Nick. Had some chances early to knock in some runs, and here again, can't pull the trigger.
So one away, and now Brandon Phillips, who's gone 1 for 3 in his Braves debut. Let's get the day off tomorrow. It's fortuitous because it's supposed to rain all day.
Oh, really?
We should have better weather Wednesday night for the DeGrom Cologne meeting in Game 2. Good slider to start him off. 0-1. And there it is. 6 o'clock the coverage. Wednesday night here on SNY.
We'll be here.
You too? You don't get a day off? On the strike to Phillips. Emilio Bonifacio has come out on deck with the pitcher spot due up next. There's the veteran switch hitter. Each team with 7 hits, but the Mets parlayed 5 walks into a 6-run inning in the 7th. Lucas Duda, a 3-run double, the big blow. And Gesellman misses high, 2-1. Noah Syndergaard went 6, allowed no runs, 5 hits, struck out 7 without a walk. Left with a blister on his middle finger after 86 pitches. Also Robles and Fernando Salas each contributed a 1-2-3 inning. It's not that cold, you know.
It's cold in the shade.
I just was wondering whether the ski hat was more a weather-related item of clothing or a fashion statement.
Yeah, it's a look. I think it's a look.
I think it goes with the blonde locks, kind of a Scandinavian thing.
That's right.
You think they would allow a blue and orange with an NY sombrero in there?
Would that keep you warm?
On a hot day to cut for the shade.
Little dribbler. Gesellman off the mound, makes the toss and gets the out, and now a throw back to second for the tag play on Kemp to end the game.
Wow.
Matt Kemp must have thought that Freeman was going to break for the plate. He did not, and he got hung out to dry, and the double play ends the game. The Braves are considering challenging the last call.
No.
They shouldn't challenge it because they shouldn't want to see that play again.
Duda realized that Kemp was hung out to dry. The tag made by Cabrera, and there's nothing to challenge there. The 1-3-6 double play ends the game, and the Mets extend their best in the majors record on opening day. Now 36-20 all time, 36-12 since 1970. Duda with the big hit, 6 scoreless.